well, if there was, which in all honesty there wasn't, a shred of doubt to what that whole fucking pantomime with saintly Frank Wright was. Just a guy in the street walking down the road. Hey, can I have a few moments? All that charade. If there was any doubt whatsoever, as I say, it really wasn't. But if there was, it is absolutely gone now. And that's because I've been looking further into Frank Wright. Well, I've been watching his activity, fundamentally. He's done Alex Jones yesterday. What has he done so far? His first port of call, which apparently hasn't been published yet, he did an interview with a guy who's got 670,000 followers on Twitter, who apparently that guy also interviewed Rupert Lowe. And no one interviews Rupert Lowe unless they're vetted. So, I mean, you know, he's getting into the machine there. He's getting the big waft there. Then he did some little trad-based Catholic guy. His name's Mike Church. Is that your given name, Mike? I'm looking at your picture. I don't... But you thought, well, Church is a good name. But anyway, he refers to himself as the King Dude. And he has all sorts of premium content that you can buy, and he can tell you about Christ's teachings and all the rest of it. I mean, and you can do the keyword searches for yourself on Mike Church, pertaining to, Russia and Ukraine and all the rest. I mean, it's just what you'd expect. These people, they are what they are. They're all apparatchiks. They're all grifters. They're all trying to get as much money as they fucking can from this. Frank Wright, he's an influencer. I think he's moving beyond these. I mean, that's a low-level grift. I was quite surprised he did that guy. I mean, since then he's gone and done Alex Jones, Say No More, Duganist, all part of the same network. But what we're going to look at today is LifeSite, which is the Catholic, trend-based Catholic site, run up until very recently by a gentleman by the name of John Henry-Westen, who I'll put on the screen. Here he is, John, looking smart, dressed up to the nines. There, John, aren't you, at Maralago, Donald Trump's resort. Based trad Christian. Oh my God. Oh, hello, my brothers in Christ. I'm here to facilitate some Russian propaganda. Anyway, he is... well, there he is in Maralago, but... previous to that, he had a nice Jolly Boys outing, another one, when he went to Moldova. And this is quite an interesting little trip, as we'll go on to discover. And this was all run by Malofeyev. So Konstantin Malofeyev. Now, Malofeyev, if you want the shorthand, even he's an FSB operative. He's an oligarch, incredibly wealthy. And he operates a media empire, which pushes the based Orthodox Christianity. Oh my God. It's these kind of figures that have flooded the manosphere with all their money and all their pro-Russian stuff. I mean, that's where all that's come from. All these based and trad Christians, my brothers in Christ. You see all over the manosphere, the grift crew. They're all being funded basically one way, shape or form by Malofeyev, or, groups, linked to Malofeyev. Well, Malofeyev is basically, as I say, we can look into it. He's not that old. He's about 52, something like that. He runs Tsargrad, which is a big, corporation. Shorthand, it's kind of like the base Christian version of Fox News. He promotes a mix of Russian imperial nostalgia, Orthodox Christianity, monarchism, anti-liberal politics, anti-LGBT messaging, and hardline support for Russia's war aims. So, this is what it is. This is the information laundering. Now, you might listen to that and you might think, well, yeah, I don't really like the LGBT stuff, and I'm not really into the don't really like liberal politics. Well, yeah, that's because you're being warmed up for it. And then you get the support for Russia's war aims, which is what all these people amplify. This is an amplification operation, also known as information laundering. And that's all you'll see in Western dissident nationalism, or whatever you want to call it. Conspiracy scene as well. It's all the same fucking thing. It's all being funded by the same people. Which is why the groupthink is so total. It's a funded operation. These people are bought and paid for. But as I say, there's no point talking to the fucking Mongmas of the dissident right anymore, because especially with this little episode, they've revealed themselves just baying like fucking clapping seals for this guy, Frank Wright, saintly Frank Wright, loves the hedgehogs, cares about the hedgehogs, such a lovely guy. Doesn't care about that little girl whose fucking father was murdered on that playground and she's fighting for her life in fucking Kherson. Her mother's dead, her father's dead, and she's fighting for her fucking life because they bombed the fucking child's playground. He doesn't care about her because he runs narrative cover for that, don't you, Frank? But he cares so much about the hedgehogs. Oh, what a great guy you are, Frank. You fucking mugs. Absolute mugs getting caught into this. This is an operation. And people are so easy to manipulate. And I mean, this is kind of... it's just black-pilled me a little bit. Don't like that word. Don't like that word at all. But whatever, this has just made me realise the absolute vast amount of people, they ain't going to make it. They're just going to get tricked one way, shape or form. And they don't care, they like being tricked. And if you say, look, you're being tricked, even if they'll think, yeah, well, okay, maybe you got a point here, but it was still a good speech. Fucking hell, you're being tricked. But, whatever. Anyway, we'll go further into it. So, Malofeyev, basically, in a nutshell, he's been supporting all these groups, and he paid for, very generous, a big Jolly Boys outing for a number of Western bloggers. One of those was John Henry-Westen. Another one of those was James Delingpole. Malofeyev's organisations, basically the FSB, I mean, that's what it is, flew them to Moldova for some sort of base Christian Orthodox conference and, handled them. That is my interpretation. Well, of course he handled them. There's not really an interpretation. That's what they would have done. There's no question about that. And presumably made them offers, made them suggestions, got some contact details, maybe, got some details of some crypto accounts. Monero, probably. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's the sort of thing they probably would have spoke about in their downtime when they weren't talking about Christ's teachings. I'd imagine you'd talk about, payment systems and, leave a few sort of hints lying in the air about what kind of content they'd like to hear. And then with all these people, you've just got complete pro-Russian propaganda. It's strange, isn't it? It's weird how that happens. Well, there you go. I mean, we'll just have a little look into LifeSite, this trend-based Catholic site. So very concerned with Christ's teachings. I mean, it really does make you sick. These people are just utter hypocrites. You're selling Christ's message to make money, but you're skin suiting it, and then you're doing the bidding of the fucking, an invading nation which is committing horrendous war crimes and suffering on the people of a nation. And you justify it. You run narrative cover for it. I truly just think these people are reckless, spiritually reckless, and I believe, well, that'll be for them to find out, won't it? Or whatever. Let's continue. Okay, we'll just have a quick look at LifeSite. Just summarise some of their content pertaining to the war. It's just total naked Russian propaganda. It's absolutely what you'd expect. Just like Frank Wright, who they're all getting carried away. This is what I mean. Like, you look at the whole birthing of Frank Wright. You look at the pinned post, fucking, the West is an empire of lies and all the fucking rest of it. You look at what is, this was so prepared for this purpose. And then you look at LifeSite and you look at who's funded LifeSite. And it's all fucking Malofeyev. All roads lead to fucking Malofeyev in all this shit. But no one cares. No one cares. So, wasting breath, but whatever. Let's get into it. So this is just some of what LifeSite was said about the war. Russia has won the war. Ukraine must accept Russian gains. That was in April 2025. Have they won the war? Because, we're 13 months later. I don't think so, mate. But, whatever. I'm sure you earned a few quid from writing that article. Why are globalists so opposed to Trump's efforts to make peace in Ukraine? Oh dear. It says Trump's proposed recognition of Crimea as Russia reflects reality. Then states that Zelensky is refusing confessions made unavoidable by the fact that Russia has won the war. You got another one here. Crimea is Russian, historically and actually. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. But whatever. You can just avail yourself to these narratives and earn money from it if you say that kind of thing. So this is what they'll do. Trad and base Christian. I mean, just legitimize the invasions, don't you? Putin's assessment of the West was frank, accurate, and true. Well, yeah, Frank. Speaking of Frank, he agrees. He defines it as an empire of lies. What a great guy Frank is. He loves the hedgehogs. What else have we got? Russian propaganda is a Western psychological weapon. Yeah, well, you are Russian propaganda. So, of course you'd say that. You're literally funded by Malofeyev, but whatever. The US, NATO deliberately baited Putin. Why do they still poor fucking Russia? Why do they keep getting baited to invade countries, seize territories, and enact fucking plans that they've had in operation for decades? I mean, you can just go on. It's just constant justifying. You got page after page of this shit. I mean, this is what it is. This is what LifeSite is. It's an information laundering site. It's an amplifying site. And now Frank Wright is being birthed into the wider consciousness. This big influencer, poof. This is absolutely an operation at play. But anyway, we'll have a little look at their little Jolly Boys outing, because there's a number of other figures involved here as well. Delingpole, that nice man. James Delingpole. He was there as well. They all went to Moldova. They were invited to Moldova. This was by one of Malofeyev's operations, one of his skin suits. There's a guy called Charles Bausman. Bausman. Okay, so let's have a look. Who was on this little Jolly Boys outing? Charles Bausman, an American with a long history of working as a Russian propagandist. He has lived for a large period in Moscow. Apparently he's in Transnistria at this point. Well, he is what he is. He's just, he's trad and base Russian Orthodox member. Or my brothers in Christ, here is some Russian propaganda. Here I am justifying the genocide of a country, because I am so trad and based and Christian, my brothers in Christ. I will be fasting later. Let me tell you about my fasting plans. You fucking ostentatious twat. Anyway, Conrad Franz, an American who hosts World War Now podcast and Substack newsletter with 24,000 plus subscribers, just like Morgoth. He is also, I think he's done Delingpole, isn't he? I think it says later in this. Franz is a convert to the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia, as they all seem to be. Let's look at the Russian Orthodox Church. You've got, head of the Russian Orthodox Church, an oligarch. That seems compatible with Christ's teachings. But yeah, he's an oligarch and he's got a huge palace which he's built, and he made a fortune in the 90s with government contracts for import and sale of tobacco and alcohol. So trad, so based, all the rest of it. Buck Johnson, an American, he's American with a name like Buck Johnson? Wow. From Texas, host of the Counterflow podcast. Also a convert to the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. Ooh, fancy that. Johnson's podcast combines Orthodox Christianity, masculinity, and libertarianism. Yeah, libertarians, they're all for fucking Russia, aren't they? If you noticed that. These are people like, what's his name? The main one. His name escapes me at the moment. Bold guy, cringy guy. He's talked for years about the non-aggression principle. Never endlessly talking about the non-aggression principle, but you will justify Russia's invasion of Ukraine and murder of children. Seems kind of aggressive to me. What's that guy's fucking name? I don't know how I've forgotten that. It's very early in the morning, to be fair. James Delingpole. Good old James. Good old James loves nothing better than to tear animals apart, does he? That's what he describes as gives him the greatest pleasure in life. He actually wrote that. Gives him the greatest pleasure in his life, fox hunting. Seeing an animal being torn apart by a pack of animals braying around the fucking countryside on a horse, trampling all over people's property. That gives him the greatest thrill. I think that says a lot about a person. I really do. You know, it's just me. I don't like fox hunting. I don't like James Delingpole. Put them together. I mean, that's just number of other reasons I don't like him, but I'll spare you all that. What does it say here? British far-right commentator and podcast. I mean, we all know who he is. It's just pure pro-Kremlin narratives. Yeah. And then we've got John Henry-Westen. Dear old saintly Frank Wright's mentor, presumably. Canadian co-founder and editor-in-chief of LifeSite News. The site takes an ultra-traditionalist Roman Catholic approach to the news. They don't really speak like that in Canada, do they? The site is known for publishing mis- and disinformation and was permanently removed from YouTube in 2021. Oof. Fancy that. For promoting MAGA Stop the Steal content. Weston is close to the MAGA movement and was pictured visiting Maralago. Oh, okay, John. I mean, you know, I'll link the site because there is a lot there. There's a lot there to this. I mean, they basically got sent out for this trip. They all met with all these little FSB handlers. That's what I'll speak freely. That's what all this shit is. You know, LARPing as base trad and base Christians and priests. And oh my God, they're persecuting the Orthodox Church in Ukraine. You know, all the fucking information laundering, all the bullshit. Because, you know, this network, this FSB network, is in Ukraine, or has been in Ukraine in terms of the Muscovy patriarchate. So when they say, oh my God, they're destroying the Orthodox Church, no, they're getting rid of the fucking FSB skin suit. The actual Orthodox Church in Ukraine is in rude health. But, you know, you won't hear any of that, of course, from any of these people, just like you won't hear anything about any of the war crimes, any of the massacres, any of the, you know, the daily atrocities that Russia, you know, carry out against, you know, homogenous European people, Christian people. They don't care about it. These people are utterly devoid of morality because they are LARPing as Christians and they are taking money in a duplicitous agenda. Like, you will be judged for it, in my view, as a Christian. I believe you will be judged for this. Frank, you're a fucking snake. You're a liar, mate. Accidental monologue. Absolute fucking horseshit. This is an operation. Look at this accidental monologue. It's gone viral. It's got the richest man on earth has wafted it up, who's linked to all these, you know, peripheral sites as well. This is a new influencer, and, you know, as I suspected, as I said in that first one, this guy is going way above. He's not going to be doing streams. I mean, maybe throw a dog a fucking bone here and there with the likes of fucking Morgoth. No. Fucking Vauxhall Conference. This guy, he's going to be big time. He already is. He's doing all the huge podcasts. It'll be LinkedIn. He's probably got the Thiel bucks as well. This is all LinkedIn. It's all basically the same thing. You know, he'll be. I see he's reposting Raw Egg Nationalist, Dark Welsh Nationalist. You know, this is just a network at play, and these fucking saps that fell for this shit. I'll give you another week. Like, I'll give you another week to be like, yeah, but it's a good speech. No. This is a fucking trick. This is an operation at play. When you kick the tires, underneath it, you've got all FSB connect. Okay, in a future report, I will be looking at the role of faith-based groups in the Kremlin FIMI, which is foreign something or other. It's basically what I've been talking about, information laundering. In the case of Saintly Frank Wright, with his prepared, you know, schizo-Ukraine essay, 12 hours, published 12 hours before his accidental monologue, and all the fucking rest of it. All the rest of it, which will unfurl in time, going on Alex Jones. He's promoted Selner just twice. I haven't really looked this morning either. What's he saying this morning? Let's roll off for a minute. What have you been saying, Frank? Frankie, do you remember? You will remember me. You used to watch my stuff, Frank, right? Well, I don't suppose he does anymore. Well, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's just, this is what it is now. This guy's just moving into the sort of Premier League. You know, Champions League of influencers overnight. He's done the Alex Jones show. He's got his little hat on. This is his. He's got the same thing. Like, you look at him, right? He's wearing the fucking boater hat. Can you not understand what this is? This is branding, just like his hedgehog posting. All of it. It's all branding. The man in the street, the accidental hero, cometh the hour. Yeah, he's retweeting Alex Jones. I mean, it's blowing smoke up his arse. And there he is again. He's got the little boater. He's got the branding. There's another one there on the thumbnail. Got the boater again. I don't know. People will like it. As I say, there probably will be a Frank Wright doll. Millennial woes will buy it and touch it inappropriately, no doubt. And many others, I suspect. Well, fine. These people are so enthralled to it. Carl Benjamin. He'll do Carl Benjamin. He'll pop up on the Lotus Eaters. And maybe he will go into Restore, I don't know. Maybe he will get into the actual fabric of it. If it is, then, you know, that's the end of that, isn't it? Really, as far as I'm concerned. I'm still supporting Restore, by the way, and people did ask me that. Who do I support? I would, you know, I'm not going to be a fucking fanboy, but, you know, I would vote for them because they're the least worst option, as I see it. Maybe I'll get to that into another video at some point. Don't want to ramble on too much. But, okay, well, let's just polish off this article. You can choose if you want to remain listening. I dare say many won't. Well, fine. Okay, so continue. For now, here is a listing of the content produced by these individuals referencing Moldova and their trip after the fact. And this is where, you know, they all talk about the trip and how based and trad Russia is saving, you know, the... saving the world, basically. LifeSite News, EU shocking push for LGBT in Europe's most conservative Christian country. Counterflow News, a report on Russia and Moldova in the church with Conrad France. Again, that's one of Delingpole's little returning guests. Based and trad Christian, supports murdering children in Ukraine. World War Now, breaking Moldova, persecuting Orthodoxy. Yeah, you know, it's all the same. Spectator, and here you've got Delingpole's out, and believe it or not, Russia is great. Now, it is actually worth rolling off this at this point, because Delingpole then went to Russia. Where is that? That's in another one of these articles. And he was being interviewed by top politicians there. Some guy by the name of Tolstoy. He went to Russia after this. All on the same guy's ticket, all with Malofeyev. Malofeyev's organisations. I mean, not him personally, but on Malofeyev, the oligarch, who, you know, FSB, Connect. It's all related to it. There we go. Charles Bausman and James Delingpole also went on to Moscow after Moldova. In their podcast, they speak of meetings with high-level ministers and with Deputy Chair of the State Duma, Pyotr Tolstoy. So there you go. The level of organisation and facilitation by the Moscow Patriarchate and the Russian state, as well as the rapid dissemination into the Shore network, implied a coordinated effort. But that does not imply, necessarily, that any individual who participated played an entirely knowing role. Yeah, I fucking think so. I'm not buying that. Likes of Delingpole, all these fucking people. You just look at their content. You know, if you want to tell me, oh, well, they were just, you know, given a holiday and, oh, okay, mate, yeah, fair enough. Bullshit, because in their content you'll see, you know, you'll see what they are. They're information launderers. And this guy, right, I tell you, this guy is a snake. An absolute con man, a trickster. But people will like it. People like it. They like being tricked. As long as they get some good content, some content which, you know, they can nod along with, which is the nature of information laundering. So some of the stuff they'll say, you'll be like, oh yeah, I kind of think that anyway. Well, fair enough, because that's what the trick is. You know, it's like controlled opposition, isn't it? Wouldn't work unless they had some, you know, talking points that you kind of agree with. Because that's their way to get the foot in the door. And that's what Frank Wright's fucking calling card was all about. But, you know, people don't care. People like it. They like, you know, Morgoth's, you know, misery. They're broken down, they're demoralised. And, you know, if you demoralise people and you cosh them over the head over time, then sooner or later you give them show them a glimpse of light and they'll be like, oh my God, it's amazing, you fucking spastic. Call and response every time.